Hey everyone, thank you for joining. So today's topic is being a better listener. This is Aatmn, the founder of Radical, telling you about listening. And you would wonder, why would I not listen? I'm not a deaf person. I'm pretty good with listening skills, but trust me, we all need to learn that, right? Now, there was a small child, a young kid. He was really busy doodling. And he was so busy that he appeared completely engrossed, and his father wanted his attention for some reason. So he called this child and said, Rahul, come here. Rahul did not listen. So dad thought maybe I was too soft and I need to be a little loud. So he said, Rahul, come here. No effect on Rahul. Rahul was busy as ever. He went much closer, went practically next to him, and in an authoritarian posture, he said, Rahul, I was calling you. Weren't you listening? He said, Dad, I was hearing. That's what we do. We hear so much day in and out, the railway sounds and aircraft sounds and traffic sounds and honks and people talking, television going on, radios going on, music going on, the fan sounds and air conditioner sounds. Don't we hear all that? That's a very passive act. But listening is different. It's very, very active. You need to be available 100% in the moment. Why we do not really listen to? Because we already have a dialogue going on. Okay. And we listen to based on really what we want to listen to. So if a woman comes and you know this woman and you've heard about this woman and you've experienced in the past what this woman is all about, and you almost presume and know what she's going to talk, and you listen to her through the filters of all those beliefs that and judgment that you have formed about her. So even if she says something else, you will listen to what you want to listen to because you already have certain judgments. And it's not about that woman, it's about everyone. So when we come with the prior conditionings, it gets difficult. That reminds me of another Zen story. So there was a master teaching few Zen disciples, and he realized that one of the disciples was not really paying attention as he would need to. So during the tea ceremony, they have a tea ceremony, and Zen disciple sit across the master, and master was pouring tea. And obviously, he continued pouring tea, and your master pours the tea. So he poured, and the cup was full and overflowing, and he continued pouring. And the Zen disciple said, Master, the cup is full. Don't you realize that? And the master says, That's what I want to tell you. Don't you realize that your cup is full? If you already have preconceived ideas, thoughts, beliefs, conditionings, it's difficult for you to be an unbiased, pure listener. And trust, giving a non judgmental listening time to someone is so beautiful. If anybody has ever heard you without any judgments, without any comments, without any guidance, without any advice, that person would make your day. There are times I know a lot of people approach me. Not always they need healing. Not always they need my guidance. Not always they need my support. They just want a sounding board. Somebody who would listen without questioning, without judging, without guiding, without advising, without saying a word. And that training I got when I was being trained as a student of homeopathy. So when I graduated from homeopathic college, one of the most precious training that we got is to listen to. Now, and you know how homeopaths are trained to listen to for hours together, and just sit and listen and say nothing. Just nod your head. Don't even agree. Don't even disagree. Just be neutral. Keep staring. Keep looking. Yes. And what else? And when they stop, just ask small little question and ask again. So when you keep being very, very neutral, you encourage people to speak their heart out. Sometimes just listening is so therapeutic. I remember once I had one walk-in client at my clinic was on the main road in Andheri. So one lady just walked in wearing lovely star sari and radiating, glowing skin, and I was about to pack up my clinic and go home, and my compounder had already left, and she just walked in, and I didn't have a heart to say sorry. I don't have you don't have scheduled appointment. She started talking. And she spoke for 3.5 hours. And in those days, there were no mobiles. And when I have clients, my landline would be off. 3.5 hours I listened to her, and probably that would be the longest time I heard ever. And she had the complaints of her life. She poured her heart out, and I just patiently listened to her. Am I saying this to brag how good listener I am? No, I'm not saying that. What was amazing, or what was so kind of shocking after that, was she never turned up. She scheduled an appointment but never turned up. After a week or so, one gentleman walks in and tells me just thank you. I said, but for what? He says, do you remember so and so? She had come, and when she had come, she was suffering from the last stage of cancer, which I knew. She told me. I said, yeah, then. She said she died next day. And I was kind of shell shocked. He says, I've come to just say thank you for listening to her. That was so relieving. I haven't seen her so peaceful, and she died peacefully. And that was so beautiful. She taught me that it's so important to listen to. I probably didn't have to give her medicines. I didn't have to do anything. I just had to listen to her. Somebody died peacefully. And what a peaceful time it is. A lot of people, when they leave their body, there are so many incompletions. If I could even just listen to her, probably I did a great service to her, which is beyond any medicines, which is beyond any therapies, which is beyond everything. And today I would just request all of you to learn to be a patient listener. Everybody tries to be a great communicator. In fact, I used to take a workshop very often in those days when there were no lockdowns, and I would ask, "What is communication? Speaking, talking, saying." Nobody would say communication is listening as well as expressing. They would say talking, and then they would say hearing. There's a difference between hearing and listening. Right now, some of you would be hearing me, and a very few of you would be truly listening. When you listen to, you like that sponge who can absorb everything, or you're like that plain whiteboard which can reflect everything. Now you can decide if you are listening to learn something, be that sponge, so that you can get everything without repelling anything or reflecting back anything. Okay. Or if you want to use this listening in a therapeutic way, be that plain whiteboard where there is nothing. Everything that you put becomes like a mirror to somebody. They will talk and yell, shout, scream, Do whatever they let them do it. Don't show any difference in your expression. Don't try to console. Don't cry with them when they cry. And don't even laugh too much when they laugh, because some of them are actually avoiding something by trying to laugh it out aloud. So just keep staring at them, not in an awkward way, but in a very patient way, that I understand. You don't even have to say, I understand. They know you understand when you look in a particular way. And eventually, when they say all that they wanted to say, they put two pieces together, and eventually they come to their own conclusions. They come to understand what's their story all about. All that you needed to do is be a neutral sounding board. It's a jargon, I understand. However, try doing that to somebody. Most of the time, we complain that others don't listen to. Most of the time, we complain that, others I do not pay attention. How about you? How much you listen to? And how much do you pay attention? Correct that first. So, how can you be a good listener? First of all, find some time. If you're always busy, preoccupied, we often miss out on an opportunity to listen to. Okay. Secondly, go beyond people's words. Words can be misleading. Okay. They're talking to you through their eyes, their body language, their gestures, their frequency, their vibrations. There are tiny little expression change, and you know that they're not with you right now, or they've thought about something else, or they've got bored. You can make out that, right? So just keep looking at them and show your availability. Even if you know somebody for years and since ages, probably you still don't know that person, because you know that person through your mind's filter. So if you really want to listen to your loved ones, your companions, your family members, drop all your judgments, all your preconceived ideas, all your beliefs. Just be quiet and give them a chance. Because even if they say something, you will absorb it through the filters that you apply to them. You need to be aware of your filters and listen to them, removing your filters. And that's an active effort that you need to really uh, do. Next is feel that you're equal. Make them feel, and you also feel. I remember some years back, one of the airlines I was traveling, and the crew would actually bend down, come to your eye level and ear level, and speak to you with respect. Now, that's a lot of strain on the knees for the crew to keep doing that for every passenger. So, but they would do it. But when they come down and talk to you, you feel much more approachability. If you want to speak to your children, especially young ones, go down to their level and speak. They will be much more communicative than standing tall and being in an authoritarian position. They will feel intimidated and they may not be able to speak well. And of course, make them feel that you are like them. So the more they find you similar to them, the easier it is for them to reach out and approach. I've also had some friends who are practicing NLP. They say even you match your breath, you match your mirror their expressions, and they will find it much easier to reach out and communicate, and you will find it much easier to understand them. Okay. A good listener would eventually summarize all that was said as and when needed, and only when asked for, and check back that let me just get it right. You said this, and then you said this, and then you mentioned this. So you're trying to say perhaps this. Is that right? And if they say, yes, it is right, you said it, and sometimes you mm, you kind of sum it up in so beautiful way that they wonder, did I really say? I meant to say that, but I haven't said that in the words. But uh, the whole summary sounds much more appealing than what I said in so many words, because people may or may not be able to come to the point and say. So if you're in hurry, avoid being a listener. They say, okay, fine. Can you just jot it down? Can you write it down? I'll listen to it. I mean, I will listen to your audio, uh, but never do a passing story while trying to be a good listener. It doesn't work. So be patient and just sum it up and say, this is what you said. Am I getting it right? Okay. And even when you do it periodically after a few paras or 5 to 10 minutes, uh, or after kind of one episode that they narrate, it gets easier. It gets easier for people. They develop much more confidence. Okay. I often see that in family members. When a child wants, Papa, I want to speak to you. Okay, there you have your book, and then you continue reading. Tell me what. Yeah, what next? Now, do you think a child is going to open up and talk, or you continue eating, you continue playing some games, or you continue flipping your newspaper or surfing your channel, and then you expect your partners or children or in-laws or parents to speak to you, or make them feel that you're listening? No, it doesn't. So at least drop what you're doing if you want to give a quality time, because that 10 minutes of quality time will save perhaps 10 days, 10 months, or 10 years of conflict. You're saving time. Our loved ones deserve that quality time. Lot of issues get generated when you stop being a good listener, and it really frustrates. Forget about you being a good listener. I mean, how have you felt when others do not really listen to you well? How does it feel when you say something and it is interpreted as something else? How does it feel when you really want to say and others do not really give that kind of time or attention? Put yourself in their shoes and be a good listener. Okay. The next is, do not be impulsive to get advice and judgments. So if somebody's opening up, normal reaction is, I told you. How many times have I told you? And you still do that. Again, you did that. You think you're giving a chance or a scope to somebody to express. Just hold on. Even if you know the others have made mistakes and this is the repeated mistakes, be patient, because you telling that I told you and you still did it is not going to help that person or you. It's going to create an ego barrier and distance in your relationship. Yeah. Next, judgment. You are so silly. You always create this mess. Now you've judged that person, and nobody likes being judged. Okay. We all judge and we don't want to be judged. Now, if you're judged, that's the sure shot way to shut somebody up. Then after that, only verbal communication happen, not the live communication. It doesn't really reach a quality level ever, because people are so careful about being judged. They will never give you the right picture, right words, right feelings. They will talk as if it's a matter of fact. Okay. Not always everybody's saying and they need your advice or a guidance. So, say your child comes and says, Mom, I made horrible mistake in the paper today. And you start with your lecture. I told you, read correctly, be patient, be quiet, don't watch TV just before the exams, and always read the questions correctly. How many times I've told you that the child is not telling you, because child knows what's your going to be a record. Almost all children, almost all wives, almost all husbands, almost all parents, they know what's going to come if you feed in, punch in some experience or effort, right? It's so known. You know that if you say this, mom's going to say this, so it's practically known. Can we give it a break? One day you just listen to without giving advice, especially to your juniors and your partners, and see the magic unfolding. They are not necessarily always telling you to get the advice. If they wanted, they would have asked me, tell mom, how do I do this better? They haven't asked, but you're busy giving advice. And that's detrimental to a good listening skill. Very, very detrimental. Be very, very careful about that. If you end up blurting out your advice, even before they complete talking, because you also know when others open their mouth what they are going to talk, and you're ready with the advice even before you listen to it fully, isn't it? So remain open to that. And the last thing that I would say is say nothing. Say, for example, somebody says, I've had a horrible day, and then quiet. No, it was a horrible day, right? That's it. Just kind of acknowledgement. Okay. I see it was a horrible day, right? And if you want that person to speak further, just say, in what sense it was horrible? And that's it. And they will open up. If at all you want to just kind of make them talk further, just neither agreeing nor disagreeing, just say. So somebody says, my game was not so good today. Ah, okay, it was not so good. That's it. And stop. The next communication is coming, perhaps. Okay, and wait. The quieter you remain, the better listener you are. Talk minimum, speak minimum, and listen to more, anyone more. And that's the secret of good relationships. So I'm sure you've got a lot of things to think about, mull over, get ideas, and I'm sure it will apply in your practice on a daily basis. Okay, so thank you so much. I'm just going through some of you, and okay, right. I'm just going through the comments. Yeah, thank you, Saliza. Hi, Shada. Lots of love to you. Okay, here's a pinky that so good to see you and hear you. Okay, what is it? Fine. Listening to you always motivating. Thank you so much, Pinky. Thank you, Sampada, and thank you, Masum. So I trust you guys listened to today what I said and apply it in your life. Um, Mostly, we're changing the schedule for upcoming events and changing the topics also. So stay tuned and keep in touch for the next announcement. Thank you so much. Bye bye.